Yeah, I get right to the racks. Then I make that shit back. Run up on me, get shot in the back.
If you ain't in the building, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, man, back to making. Yes, today we got the sad story of Harlem Spartans.
Word.
How do you feel about the Harlem Spartans?
I'm disappointed, man, because I heard Mizormac is back in jail. You know what I mean? Loski can't even say Harlem Spartans no more, I don't think.
Whoa.
And it's like, and then a couple of them homies got bodied. Like, I think a couple of them got killed. So, yeah, but I think Loski legally can't really associate himself with the...
Yeah, he can't really say certain things. I think he's on parole. I don't know what happened with his case. Let's look. I mean, we're going to see right now. But Mizormac, I'm kind of disappointed about him, man. He's very talented.
He's one of my favorite UK artists.
We got introduced to him right when we started doing UK reactions. And I kind of like fell in love with his like art. Like, it was tough. Like, I love it.
His art is dope.
Word. If you're new channel, you subscribe, you request, and then we react. We're going to hop right into it. It's a long video.
Follow him on
at JTV.
Follow him on JTV.
And Pops React on Instagram.
Pops React. I go live every day, one time for your mind.
So yeah, go check him out. Let's see what he's doing. Ask him a question. But let's hop right to it, right? Now we're talking?
Guys, your boy Kid Nerd here back with another video. And today, we're exploring South London drill group, Harlem Spartans. And what a lot of young people nowadays can take and learn from their rise and fall. But before I get into this video, follow me on Instagram for a chance to win a Harlem Spartans gift card. It's on the screen now, so get following for the chance to win that. Let's get into the video. So Harlem Spartans is a gang located in the South London town of Kennington. And Harlem really put the area on the map. With smash hits like Kennington where it started, which is now on 16 million.
Go watch a reaction to that.
And around these times in 2016 to 2017, they were really the biggest things out in drill, and were even one of the biggest pushers.
They were the top UK drillers. Like, they kind of like they weren't the pioneers. There was people before them, but they really brought it to a crazy light.
Yeah.
Like how Chef G brought it to.
Nah, but everyone looks up to Harlem Spartans.
Yeah, for sure.
From what I know, from the
and Drake showed hell up to Loski at one point. I don't know if you know.
Really?
Yeah. They have a picture together. I'm gonna show you that thing.
UK drill to be played in the international level, with rappers like Drake being heavy fans of the group. And they were even big influences for overseas drill groups to start making their music, like the popular Australian drill group 1-4. But behind all these numbers and recognition, real stuff was going on in the streets. And due to their come up being so fast and explosive, it was clear that the group hadn't adjusted yet to keeping the streets and their music separate, which resulted in the massive eventual downfall of their group. So before Harlem Spartans became a thing, the local gang in the Kennington area was called Cuckoo, also known as Black Prince, who were a quite small and not really that recognised gang in South London, in times when South London was a complete war zone. This was during the infamous beef between the two neighbouring areas in South London called Brixton and Peckham, where Kennington was on Peckham's side against Brixton. Kennington didn't really have that much involvement in this feud, but in 2006 they did stab to death a 15-year-old Brixton gang member called Tiny Alien, right after he finished his year 11 GCSE exams. So the area of Kennington where Harlem Spartans are from has historically always had a feud with Brixton gangs. And throughout the years, the area has picked up quite a few other enemies, like Peckham, who they were close allies with during their war against Brixton. But despite the area's smaller gang size, they have still managed to hold that.
Is it me or the audio is way too loud?
It's going in and out.
And he's like rushing over the video, like you're dropping information. Slow down, lower the voice, lower the vocals.
Shout out to you, bro, but this is some constructive criticism.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to keep up here, you know? I'm a slow American, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Down all their beef. And then the younger generation of Kennington started to form, who we know now today as Harlem Spartans. Most members from Harlem went to a school called Tennyson's in Oval, South London. But this school also included a lot of kids from Brixton as well as Kennington. And obviously,
Loski
Kennington and Brixton
right? He's like 14 there. That's crazy.
Loski Bear Young.
Right. That was a
This wasn't a concern for Harlem members during school. And during school, members of Harlem and kids from Brixton were actually friends. And quite a few Harlem members used to rep Brixton gangs.
Why are they close from Harlem?
Like Mizormac, he used to rep the Brixton Gang 17, and Loski used to rep the Brixton Gang 150. And even in a few songs, Harlem members and members from an opposing Brixton gang called 410 referenced their friendships in their songs.
My sibling, he was my friend from years, boy from there, soon he a victim.
Oh.
But these friendships were before Harlem was really properly formed into a group. And after Harlem members left Tennyson School and started to go to college, older members of the Cuckoo gang, who were running Kennington at the time, started to take these younger Harlem members under their wing. We started off with Harlem members chilling on the Kennington blocks alongside the older Cuckoo gang. And then eventually the younger started to trap off Cuckoo members' lines and making money alongside them. And this is how a lot of gang affiliation starts, with older members bringing you in to chill around the gang, which will eventually result in you making money with the olders, probably trapping.
Right, you agree, like it's just it's a cycle.
The gang life is like that. Usually kids who their parents are not kind of around, they fall victim because they're looking up to the big homie.
Or their mom's at work. 2 jobs.
Yeah, the elders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then eventually, after spending a lot of time with these guys, you'll see them as family. And the next thing you know, you're throwing up gang signs and riding for these people. So while Harlem was starting to chill in Kenton more heavily with the older gang Cuckoo, Brixton gangs who beefed Cuckoo started to recognize the younger Harlem members to be wrapped up in this beef as well. And this was really the start of Harlem Spartans gang involvement. Originally the gang came under 2 separate sets, one called Kenton Park and one called Younger Cuckoo. But eventually the lines got blurred between these two, and they decided to roll as Harlem Spartans. Then in 2014, the group started to record music at a local youth centre and started releasing some tracks in 2015 with early tunes like Re-Up, 3000 Savage and Shit Them coming from the 2 Harlem rappers Blanco and Biz, as well as other rappers TG Million and Zico dropping solo tunes, and younger Harlem members like C Rose dropping some exclusives.
It's funny because there's so many members we never heard of them, right?
You never heard of them.
But C-Rose didn't allow himself to grow in music properly, because in the same year of 2015, he was convicted of manslaughter and was sentenced to 16 years in prison. It was really when Harlem rapper Loski jumped on the scene that the gang really started to get some recognition. And the song that really took off was Loski's song Hazards in June 2016, which was basically the song of the summer that year. You couldn't go anywhere in London without that song being played. And the reason why this song took off so much wasn't just because it sounded good. At the time, this was one of the most disrespectful drill tunes out, with a couple direct disses towards a Brixton gang.
Personally, I wouldn't play a disrespectful track around the city just in case what if someone's man's supposed to shoot you because you playing this track.
Yeah,
you see one of the ops. I don't know. I would never do that.
That song got that popular though, Hazard.
Woo.
Called 150, when Loski said,
Violence, no mess. They say 150, but it's 146. Should have friend them dead.
and this is in reference to the 4 150 members who had died at the time, which were Pistol, SQ, Gauze and Jay Luna. But one of his next lines was one of the most disrespectful lines in drill.
Shorty just also known, looking at Gora's coffin.
Gora was a respected member of the 150 gang who had died in 2015 after he borrowed money off another 150 member but refused to pay it back. So the other 150 member just shot and killed him. Now after Loski just mocked Gora, 150 members weren't happy about this obviously, and the 150 rapper called Sticks shortly after posted a video of himself on Harlem's block. Also in some leaked Twitter messages between the same members, Sticks and somebody else, you can see Sticks says they're mashing work on the field youths, which basically means that Harlem were putting some real pressure on them on the streets. And the field youths that Sticks was referring to was another gang called 410 in Brixton, who were allied with the 150 gang and were beefing Harlem. For a fairly newly established gang, Harlem were really starting to make some noise in the music and on the streets. There's hella videos on YouTube of Harlem members attacking 410 members on CCTV and cameras. Shortly after the release of Loski's diss track Hazards in 2016, he went to jail for possession of a knife, which he got quite a bit of time for. But luckily for him and the group, the other members of Harlem picked up where he left off and started growing.
That's funny. He got a lot of time for possession of a knife. I feel like in America you won't get that much time, right? Possession of a knife.
Yeah, but
It's different. I know it's different.
It's different, and that's Loski that's talking about, right?
Yeah.
So Loski's a little bit of jailbird in him.
Yeah.
You know,
just came home. Word.
Just came home and he went back in real quick and came back out.
Yeah.
The Harlem Spartans name, dropping UK drill classics at the end of 2016 and the start of 2017, like Call Me a Spartan and Kenton Where It Started, which was literally on replay all throughout the UK in 2017, and even got the Canadian rapper Drake co-signing Harlem Spartan.
Drake probably didn't even know that all that drama behind all the music.
He doesn't. He's at a different level.
He just like the music.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow.
Drake shows up to everybody.
He's smart. Smartest guy in the game. Him, French, Rich the Kid.
Yeah.
Those guys are smart. Those are geniuses.
Like just collide with everybody. I love
network.
Snapchats with Harlem lyrics. Quite early on, another Harlem rapper called JoJo was arrested and sentenced to 7 years in prison for possession of a knife, a firearm, grievous bodily harm and robbery, which is a real small sentence for all them crimes. And it's a shame because JoJo had the real potential to blow up in the drill scene. But on the other side of the pond, their ops, 410 in Brixton, were also killing the music game in 2017, especially their Mad About Bars, which is on nearly 30 million views.
Wow, so that's their ops? I didn't know that. Skendo and AM. I didn't know that was Harlem Spartans ops.
30 million views, you heard? Was there a reaction to that?
I believe so.
Both 410 and Harlem were at the top of the game in 2017 and would even often sneak diss each other in hit songs. But despite Harlem Spartans really taking off in 2017, 2017 was also their start of their downfall. After the Call Me a Spartan video was released, Harlem rapper TG Million got into a high-speed chase with one of his ops. When catching up, he stabbed him, causing grievous bodily harm, and he was eventually found guilty and sentenced to 12 years. This left the rappers Mizormac, Blanco and Biz to hold it down for the group, while the rest were inside. But that was no
That's
issue.
crazy.
Mizormac, Blanco, and Miz.
Blanco's out. I know he collabed with Central C. Loski's out. Then you got Mizormac locked up. Then a lot of them died. A lot of them in jail. Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how the streets work. I know, but it's just like.
Yeah. Well, you know, you're talking about 2013 to now, so you're talking about a little under
2016.
Under 20. No, a little before that. Well, 2013, they were each separate gangs. They merged around 2014, 15. Then they start dropping music. You're talking a little bit, almost 10 years. So shit happens in 10 years.
That's a fact.
With Mizormac being probably one of the best drill artists the UK has ever seen, and Blanco and Biz having their own unique style that fans love, with the three dropping some classics like 21st Century Spartans, Kent Lizzie and No Hook. But there was one issue. Fans started to notice that Mizormac and Blanco wasn't in the No Hook music video, despite it being their own song. Well, not too long before the video, Blanco and Mizormac actually got arrested themselves while riding on their ops with a gun and samurai sword in February 2017.
Wow, they're young,
it was
man.
1 o'clock in the morning, and both were in the back of a cab in Camberwell, South London, looking for ops. When their cab got pulled over and they were caught with a gun and samurai sword, Mizormac got 6 years and Blanco got 3 years. And it was starting to come clear that Harlem's beef with opposite areas started to take over their music. And Harlem started to become very heavily monitored by police, which just made everything hot for them, because they were really putting in some work on the streets. Then in June of 2017, Harlem's original main rapper, Loski, was released from jail and wasted no time releasing his first tune,
I know he was the original leader one.
Yeah, I think Loski was gone for a little bit. Remember he was in some of the videos?
Well, I know he was gone, but I didn't know he was the main guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought Mizormac was, because Mizormac is, I believe, a lot better lyricist than him. Even though Loski's last album was hard.
Where Loski's album was good. Then you got Bitch who died.
Shot, which was an instant hit, dropping other bangers like Money and Beef, Call Me Loose and his Tim Westwood freestyle. And also at the end of 2017, dropping another song with a rapper called Mayski, called Mummy's Kitchen, which was a very rude song to their ops. Mayski is from a gang called Moscow 17, which is allied with Harlem. And their main beef was with a gang called Zone 2, located in
but I thought now they got beef with each other.
I think he's gonna explain that right now.
I think Moscow and Harlem, last I heard, had beef, so I guess they were aligned at the time.
Yeah.
They're aligned with Harlem. And their main beef was with a gang called Zone 2, located in Peckham, South East London, which is also a very hot beat, which I won't go into too much in this video because I might make a separate video on this in the future. But throughout the Mummy's Kitchen song, they dissed dead ops and different street situations. It started to seem like Harlem was making a comeback though, with Loski growing massively and younger Harlem members starting to jump on drill, like on drills in LM, and they were also starting to rack up beats as well. So
the Moscow Harlem, they something went down, and one of the Moscow dudes snitched.
Oh, and that's the same thing happened with OFB and some other group.
Right, and then they all split ways.
Yeah, that's what happened. OFB and MPK, I believe, right? That's what comes from.
Yeah. Right. Picking it up, let's go.
2018 was looking like a good bounce back from Harlem, but then on May 5th, 2018, a car pulled up to Moscow 17's block, the gang which was affiliated with Harlem, which I mentioned earlier, while a 17-year-old rapper called GB from Moscow was playing football with another member called Incognito on their block. GB was shot and killed, but the gang who killed GB was actually trying to kill Incognito after Incognito beat a murder case of an affiliated member. This murder is actually still unsolved, so I'm not going to speculate who killed GB, because I only talk about situations which have actually already been prosecuted for. The death of GB made South London very, very hot at the time, with both sides riding out heavily during the whole summer, and both sides taking many snaps in each other's block and dissing each other.
I don't know.
It's crazy because you could be at the wrong place at the wrong time, man.
That happened when we covered that OFB MPK thing.
I believe so.
No, I forgot Molly's. I think it was with the Molly's.
Yeah, it was with the Molly's.
Yeah, and that dude was going to see his girlfriend, and some random dude. He had nothing to do with nothing. He was just going to see his girl. Dead.
Was that attempted or was it a murder?
Come outside, man! Come outside, man!
Oh, that's what they put to these blocks. So they reject projects.
Come outside!
Very much.
Yeah, that's a new wave. That's a new wave. People are like, I know you're like a little older, so you like you would never expect this, but people are really on the internet going to people's blocks and recording like 5 in the morning. You remember when 6ix9ine did that? That's the new wave. A lot of people are doing that, like
talking about come outside.
Yeah, or like pulling up to people's blocks, like when no one's around, like.
This nigga Wood. And 2 months after the death, unfortunately the beef was stepped up to another level. Rapper S.A. from Harlem was riding on his ops block on the back of a moped, loaded with a gun looking for his ops. When he spotted some ops in the car, he got close and aimed his gun, but his gun jammed and he was stabbed 5 times. S.A. and his other accomplice drove away after S.A. was stabbed, but after a half of a mile of riding away, the other accomplice pushed S.A. off the ped and shouted to the public to take him to hospital, more than likely to save himself from being wrapped up in the situation. The member who pushed S.A. off the ped was actually from Harlem's affiliated gang called Moscow 17, and of course Harlem was not happy about one of their members pushing S.A. off the ped and leaving him to die. So both gangs started to go back and forth, which caused a big divide between them. But less than 2 weeks after S.A.'s death, Moscow 17's leader was also stabbed to death on the same street where GB was killed. And Incognito was even one of the only Moscow members left that Harlem was still cool with at the time. But after these recent L's, Harlem were riding a lot and were going on an absolute rampage. But at the same time, Harlem Spartans were being monitored by the police heavily. Harlem rapper G Smarko rid on his ops block for revenge and shot a rival and was sentenced to 21 years in prison.
So like you said, Moscow's not cool no more, right? I'm trying to
Moscow and Harlem, yeah, because he pushed him off the pad when he was trying to get away.
That's fucked up.
You know what I'm saying? It is messed up. That's the streets.
Yeah. It's not fair.
Nah, nothing's fair. The number one rule in the streets is there are no rules.
Other Harlem rapper Scratcher and GG were riding out on their ops with a gun and were caught. Then were sentenced to 15 years combined.
Oh my God, bro!
Harlem,
a lot of the Harlem Spartans are locked up. I know when Loski went to jail, he saw a lot of his boys because
I didn't realize it was so many. That's like 8 of them. That's like 8 of them.
It's like 10 of them already that either died or not. Or a lot of them locked up. It's like 10 of them locked up. This is crazy.
Was jailed for 10 years after stabbing a man in the head, leaving permanent brain damage. And member T-Trap, another member of Harlem Spartans, was jailed for 21 years after murdering a man who disrespected one of his friends. So as I said before, Harlem were just going on
they get the big, I'm not gonna lie, UK gets the little sentences. Over here they do 60, 70 years.
Yeah.
They should,
you get the inhumane sentences.
Word, that's crazy.
And clearly started to focus more on their beef than the music. But Loski was still holding it down for the group musically, still getting millions of views on his songs. But in 2019, it seemed like the roads were getting the best of him again, when he was arrested in his cab while he had a firearm on him, leaving the Harlem rapper Biz to be the only free rapper of Harlem Spartans still out. But when Biz was going home after his last music video called Beretta at the end of 2019, he started to get into an argument with some people on the phone, which he then arranged to meet after the argument. When he met the guys he was arguing with, he attempted to swing a mallet at the guys, but dropped it and was set upon and stabbed to death, right after filming one of his best music videos, which is now on 2.1 million views, leaving the gang pretty much all wiped out. Quite a few members of the gang also got time for drug offences, like Old Boy, who was caught when officers spotted people in a queue outside of his trap house, and was sentenced to 2 years and 8 months for possession with intent to supply, and Snow, who was caught in Wales, running a county line drug operation, and was sentenced to 4 years, and Hector, who was caught drug trafficking, and was sentenced to 4 years as well. Both rappers, Mizormac and Loski, have both been released from jail since, and teamed up and made the song called On Me.
That song is fire!
That song is fire.
That was one of my favorite
Check
UK
that
drill
reaction.
songs.
Check that reaction.
Wow, yo, how many members is it? They're all locked up.
Wow, this is when we kind of came on the scene.
There's more locked up members than due to pass on their side, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know, it might be even, but damn, they're deep because not all of them are rappers. And what about all the guys he missed?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, they really down, they really ride for each other though.
I don't know, a lot of them are home, bro. They did that indictment.
This is insane.
Word. Now this story is
the most
crazy.
insane shit I ever seen.
Yeah, for like gang activity, right?
The gang might have been revived, especially after the rapper Blanco was also free. But since then, Mizormac and Loski have both been sent back to jail and are currently there right now. And this is the end to a sad story of a group who were on top but allowed the streets to consume what they had, which I really hope is a wake-up call to a lot of people that the streets really cannot lead to anywhere but death or prison. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been your boy Kid Nerd, and peace out.
Wow, shout out Ken Nerd for this video. This is a very great video.
A great video. He lowered the video. He lowered the audio.
And then he heard you.
He heard me. Yeah.
So, damn, this is crazy, man. I'm still in shock how many members are locked up.
This is a great video.
And they all got more than 10 years plus. Like, they're not coming home.
All the guys that died.
A lot of dudes, all the niggas are coming home around their 40s, like 40s, 50s.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. But yeah, man, it's JTV. Let's come to other documentaries you want to see, man. We're on the documentary wave. Any of this shit you got out of here?
Yeah, shout out to all the JTV people. We're rapidly approaching 25,000K.
Yes, sir. It's JTV. If you have a subscribe channel, we out of here. Get
Hey, hit the block. Catches that slipping, we spinning in that drop. Bullets Tyson biting, fuck, I look like I ain't got a box. Ain't sparing no nigga, he try me and I'ma pop his top.